Welcome! E aí, galera, beleza? Bem-vindo à nossa comunidade.
Welcome to our community.
Hey, what's going on, guys? It is OGC here. Welcome to today's video. Today's video, we are going to be doing a special interview with a leader of, or one of the leaders of Blood Moon, the house, the legend, currently in the top 16, top 8 teams in Clash of Fate Championships Winter Series Season 3 2020. Right now, they are posed, Blood Moon, to move on potentially to the top 8 to 4 teams in the entire world. So with us is the one and only hashtag Tortito Chip Nation.
Hey everyone, good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Chip. So Mr. Chip can also a bunch of his information, guys. I think the video is probably one of the more popular videos on the channel. The how to train a dragon, or the everything you need to know about Dragon Guide, which is now outdated because Dragonics did not exist at the time of making that. That video, I think right now, is still getting about 50 views per day. It's insanely popular. I gave him a big shout out in that video for giving me the information to pass on to you guys because he's an awesome community member. So instead of just talking about dragons myself, we might as well just go straight to the source. But before we do, I'll put PvP replays in the background of Mr. Chip. But the first thing we'll notice when we look at this PvP replay is Chip. He isn't Sylph anymore. He's human. So, Mr. Chip, why the switch to human?
Yeah, so I switched maybe like 2 weeks to a month ago. I really had a lot of fun with Sylph. I love the race. I wish it was a little more viable. One of the biggest problems I've talked about before is there's no real good backline range damage. So you really depend on hero damage and dragon damage. And that, while it works a lot of the time, is risky because hero pred will just nerf that. And also, in addition to that, when chakra was increased to 20, Sylph really needs probably trees and huntress, and it would be good to have archers for events all as high as you can get them. But that's kind of impossible for a medium whale, I guess. So I switched to human because you really just need swords and archers, and kind of sucks for the house because everyone needs spears or is asking for spears, but I don't have chakra and spears anymore. So just to maximize 2 units, I went with human, and I got them both to 18 swords and archers, and a couple 20s on the archers, and just trying to get a few more 20s there before I even consider going with another unit.
That's awesome, and that makes a lot of sense for Sylph. They almost remind me of like Lich. Like if you want to participate in all aspects of the game, besides maybe spiders and mummies, but it just requires so many different troops. Unlike say dwarf, which you really just need max out, or rock, and you can get away with really high swords and decent archers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
For this this replay that we're watching, you're also using an Emerald Dragon. As soon as this fight's over, I'll pull up the skills in Dragonic so people can see. But did you adopt an Emerald meta, and what's your experience using a Emerald Dragon?
Yeah, so Toby had been talking about that long before he actually made his dragon that was so OP. So I was trying to get one at the same time that Toby was successfully making one. And also back in the day before Draconic, before level 55, I also loved Green Dragon for the CC and the healing, and just that it does so much stuff. So I really wanted to try with Toby's strategy. What I found, well, first I'll talk about what I did. So I ended up getting one that was a true shot, and this is really what I wanted. I wanted to pursue this idea because my theory was because the healing keeps the archers alive so long, then theoretically, if you have true shot, that should be even more powerful, and you're keeping that damage alive longer. And if you look at some of Toby's fights, his archers really don't fall susceptible to the black holes. So I'm not sure exactly how he's keeping them alive. I ended up buying the General Clash set because he has it, and I thought maybe that's why they were staying alive so long. But I'm not sure that's it either. So, assuming it's the J Dragon, I tried it with True Shot. I also, instead of having the damage skills, I put 3 purples on it, Fortitude, Alacrity, and Ferocity, so that I'm totally focused on the archers. I have +7 Archer Temple, and the chakra is really high on archers. And then the last thing to try to complete that strategy was to get the newest artifact, the totem, to 5 stars. So I gave up on the Green Dragon before I got that far, because while it worked a lot of the times, and you'll see some replays here where it works and it's really cool and it's fun to play with, it doesn't always work. And the reason why is one, human prejudice destroys that strategy, because those archers will have their damage will just be minimized a lot. And then the other is just hero pred is always going to be OP for PvP. And so I just decided that it was a fun dragon to play, but it's not going to win me more fights than a hero pred would. So once I got a couple hero preds to try to build, I decided to take a chance and do that.
That's awesome. So it seems like there was some success, but not as successful as what you were looking for in whatever Toby's strat is for his archers is working really well for him, but it's hard to actually duplicate because he has magical. He might be cheating in the game. Maybe that's what it is.
No,
I'm
but he has
kidding.
hero pred on that dragon, and that's the key. If you get hero pred, then I love that dragon because it does do a bunch of different things. It does the damage with the 3 skills. It does the healing, maybe more effectively than Noble Blood, and it has the great CC pushback skill, which casts a lot when you have Arcane Blessing on it too. So I do love that dragon. I would love to build a hero pred one, and I have a legendary I might try. But it just goes to show you that hero pred is always going to be the way to go for PvP.
Absolutely, and especially with I think by the time that this is airing in the public and see the new slot for the heroes will be out, so I have a feeling that heroes will. I have no idea what the future holds, but if I'm a betting person, it's going to be more about dragons and more about heroes than it is just with troops. So the hero pred, I gotta agree with Chip. I think that's absolutely everything right now, especially stacking with the Manchu beads and everything else.
I'm not totally sure that slot is going to buff heroes themselves. It seems kind of like the dragon unit buffs, but on heroes. If you look at some of the translations that Chan did for us, you'll see it buffs troop attack and health, and it buffs dragon attack and health. I'm not sure there's one for heroes, but we'll have to see when it comes out.
It's going to be exciting. I'm pretty excited for it, and I'm looking under the leaderboard right now for dragons, and I don't actually see your green dragon there. What happened to the green dragon?
Well, like I just said, I gave up on it. I needed the divine essence in order to make my topaz one, which has worked out pretty well. And Yeah, so I let it go. Sometimes you just gotta let it go if it's not working out.
Absolutely, isn't that the truth? And because you also have a really good Onyx for people that aren't familiar with Chip's Onyx is pretty much just like mine, but without Hero Credit. It has humanoid. Um, when do you find yourself using the topaz, and is the topaz more effective? It seems like the onyx is more focused on clearing out troops and CC, but topaz is all about the destroy the heroes right at the start, and then of course with energy pulse and everything, it can still put out some good damage. So what's the determining factor for when you field the topaz?
Well, so I'm still testing and figuring it out, to be honest, and I don't know if I'll ever figure it out. But I mean, easily with human pred, I'm deploying my Onyx against any human and against Racken. I have seen it do well against Lich, and sometimes you'll fight people in the tower that have a great dragon that has no predation. So sometimes it works, but I use the topaz against Lich and so far against Lich and against Sylph, and basically just because it's hero pred first of all, so Sylph is relying on hero damage, so that helps that. And in Lich, it has the 3 damage skills are really important against Lich because it's all cluster packs. So that helps against those. Still, I'm not having 100% success in all the fights I think I should be winning. So I'm still trying to work on an Onyx Hero Pred that's legendary. That then I would use against both of those, and it might kill heroes a little bit better. I think my Topaz doesn't really end up killing any really important heroes in the start. It usually brings them down to like half or 25% health. Um, but sometimes that's all you need. You can finish the job with some other skills.
That's awesome. In totally out of left field, I have to ask if people are watching and people are struggling with dragons and they're watching these videos trying to get any insight on what type of dragon they should go for. I know it's a super personal question, but if the situation is somebody doesn't have a bunch of dragonic coins, like they're not good. They're not going to be spending a ton of money to try and make a perfect dragon, or perhaps they're a free to play player. Um,
Mhm.
is there a certain like route that they should go? Because we tend to highlight like the really perfect dragons because they're perfect and they're beautiful, and that's what everyone wants. But if somebody just isn't in a position to get a perfect dragon, what do you recommend that they do, or which route should they go down?
Well, the first thing that I'll say is I think that Topaz is one of the most affordable dragons to make. That's because you don't really need, as far as I can tell, Electric Field, the one that costs dragon scrolls. So you can get away without that. And the scales, I'm not sure it's really worth. So I feel like really the only expensive skill you need to get is the lightning rod. Um, and then the damage skills would be nice. So I'll first say that. Second, and what I'm kind of deciding lately is that you almost have to play to the dragon that you have, and form your strategy around that, especially if you are not planning to spend any money or you don't have any Dragma coins to make one. Then just play with the ones you have, and hopefully you'll have at least one hero pred. And as long as you have a hero pred, you should be able to make it work with the right race and playstyle. Um, so if you happen to have Warsong, you should play Rakan or or dwarf. And if you don't have one of those, then just keep trying. But I would say form your playstyle around the dragon itself.
That's huge. So whatever the quote unquote best dragon that you can get as a either a low spender like a casual spender, or a free to play player, cater everything else kind of around the dragon. And I
Yeah, like we saw with Toby's green dragon. If you have Hero Pred on green, you can make that work. If you have Hero Pred on a blue one, you can make that work. If you have Hero Pred on a Topaz or an Onyx, you can make those work. The only one that I don't think works is red.
poor ruby dragons.
Yeah.
They need some love.
Yeah.
And I totally agree with Mr. Chip about the topaz probably being the easier of all of them. I think if and I might be getting the skills wrong. If you get a somewhat decent topaz, like a legendary one, let's call it a legendary, you have hero pred. Really, if you want the dragon to be able to do something without spending a fortune, I mean, it's not going to be perfect or great, but it will still provide you something. I think you just need the lightning rod, which is 24 dragonic points or coins, and then the fatal blow for 8 more. And if you have that along with hero pred, it's not perfect. It's not going to carry you for the whole battle, but you'll at least be able to do the hero damage at the beginning for relatively cheap.
The other thing that's nice about Topaz, well, not nice, but good for cheap to play or free to play, is that it really only benefits a lot from destruction draconic. So if you can only max one draconic, then it's a good dragon for you. Of course, there are other nice things like the time cooldowns and keeping it alive with protection, but it doesn't have CC, so you don't really have to go ham on affliction. So it's another good strategy for free to play.
That's huge. So if people out there are thinking about like I hate to even say it like this because they are really good dragons, but a more budget friendly type of dragon, then perhaps Topaz is the route for you. If we look at like Toby's Emerald Dragon, that's 8 perfect skill placements on a dragon. Most of the Onyx, you at least have to spend the 2 scrolls, like Chip was saying. And if you have an Azul Dragon, like the whole point of an Azul is kind of centered around Noble Blood. Of course, the damage skills, but I mean, Noble Blood is a huge benefit.
Yeah, Noble Blood especially because not only is it continuously healing, it's not like the Green Dragon where it has to cast the heal. It's always healing. But not only that, Noble Blood also reduces the damage received by your troops. So it does still work really well.
And absolutely. So, since Mr. Chip helped us out so much in the dragon video to like kick off a brand new style of the game, where I think before that point it was only like little clusters of players that were using legendary dragons, and it seems like since that video, a lot more people are using legendaries, so that they can get 7 out of 7 bless for free. It might take you a little bit of time, but you can still do it for free relatively quickly compared to a divine dragon. So since all of that, I really want to ask Mr. Chip, because this is a popular question. I did cover it. If you are a Patreon, there's a video that goes in depth for Patreons only about this topic. But for the general public, it is now here. It is time to ask Mr. Chip himself about something called dragon growth.
Yeah, we both get this question a lot, and it's a little complicated to explain. So I sent some pictures that hopefully will help. So when you have a lot of rare dragons, by that I mean the blue rarity. And when I say blue in this context, I don't mean azure. So when you have a lot of those, and you have enough glass to fully max a dragon, it's good to just take some time when you have free time and try to level them up all the way with the 10x button. So when you're pressing the 10x button and you get a 10x multiplier, you can get 2x or 5x multipliers. If you get a 10x on 10x, then it increases the stats of that dragon by 10 points total. Those 10 points can be spread across all 4 of the stats, so it's not necessarily consistent. In general, I'd say on a dragon, it would be best if you're getting plus magic and plus command. The magic because that affects its damage, and the command because that affects predation. It increases the effects of predation. It seems like usually when they hit, I'm getting might and stamina, which doesn't do anything for a dragon, but those are the stats that I stack, so it's okay. But basically, the idea is keep doing this until you get one. I'd say 3 is really good. I did once get one to 5. I don't know if I'll ever see that again. So it has 50 more stats than a basic dragon. Pretty crazy. I've heard people got them to 6, but I'd say shooting for 3 is above average. So once you get one, of course you have this maxed useless dragon, but a lot of people don't realize that you can train a dragon on top of another dragon. So once you have this one that's maxed, if you have a divine that has the skills you've already taught the skills to it, then you press the train button and you can tap on your level 55 useless rare dragon, and it will replace that and it will take the skills with it. So then you have a divine dragon with tons of stats. I said skills, I meant to say stats.
That is amazing. That is the $1 million secret. You guys heard it here first. If any of that is confusing, just rewind the video like 2 minutes. Listen to it again. Chips spelled it out on how to do it and how to do it the best way possible. And don't.
I'll also
What was it?
I'll add that the patch that let you train dragon skills before you train it made the strategy a lot easier, because before you'd have to kind of juggle dragons around and wait to train something until you got enough stats on one of the dragons. Now you can do those 2 tasks separately. You can try training the skills before you even hatch it or train it, and you can try leveling it up for growth separately from teaching skills.
Absolutely, and I highly recommend you guys to have the patience to do this. Once you make that quote unquote perfect dragon or your new main dragon, or even if it's a secondary dragon because your main one's already made and you're just learning about this now. Once it's made and once it's at level 55, until they raise the castle limits again, you have no chance of actually increasing the dragon growth ever again on that dragon. I'm the worst person in the world because I get so impatient and so excited with everything that I forget to do this myself. Do not be like me. Be better than me. Take what Chip was just explaining and spend that time beforehand. As long as you have the dragon glass, do it up, guys. And you guys are going to have way better dragons than I can possibly imagine by following his advice.
I mean, it's not like the stats do that much, but it's a nice to have, and I'd say any game that's pay to win, especially this extreme, any chance to grind like that for free to play or cheap to play, or even a whale that's trying to maximize their account, you got to take those chances, and that includes, clearing all the troops on the ground and getting all the XP and stuff like that. Well, this is another way to grind. And it's really boring to just sit there and click the button. If you know how to make macros, that really helps. But it's definitely just another way to maximize your account.
And absolutely, and that is what it is all about. So I guess my last question before wrapping up is, Mr. Chip, Do you think that Blood Moon is going to go all the way, win first place for Clash of Fate Championship Series 2020 winter or 2019 into 2020? How far do you think Blood Moon will go, and how happy are you with the results so far of your team?
We got this.
Well, you
I'm
guys.
very happy with the results. Clash is a lot of fun, but the extra rewards, in my opinion, are not really worth trying to make a whole super team and try to get to the top. The top 4 teams are incredible, and even a house full of 5 million core with 7 to 8 million core house is not really going to compete against houses like Dora or the Star House. That the thing is not only are they powerful, but they have great communication and they play organized, and people are willing to follow the instructions that they have to, and that's really the important thing when it comes to clashes. You can beat a house that's stronger, but you have to have everyone on the same page and doing and just following the strategy and following the people who are calling what to do. So yeah, I would just say they're very impressive. It would be hard to compete against that, even with a super house. So good for them. We have fun staying together with our group and our family. So let's just keep having fun.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much, Mr. Chip, for joining us and helping us with the with your experience of trying out the green dragon, how the yellow dragon works, some budget dragon ideas, because probably for a lot of people that watch these videos, they might not be the ones that uh, they're probably smarter than me, and they're not going to drop like 70,000 Linari trying to roll a dragon because of some silly mistake. So they might appreciate the budget ideas a lot, and the dragon growth. So thank you very much for helping us out with that.
And I know we always talk about dragons. They're really cool. They kind of can change a whole PvP match, and they're so fun to build and just try different things. So I hope it doesn't get too boring. We always talk about dragons, and Toby talks about dragons. Maybe next time we can talk about something else. If anyone has any ideas, feel free to ask questions, or we can keep talking about dragons.
How to Train Your Dragon, Part 1, Part 2, Part 3. So with that, guys, please take a moment to go into the comment section, spam up hashtag ChipNation. Also, I'll try to remember to put his YouTube videos into the description of this video as well. That way, go over, subscribe to his channel. He has a ton of he's way further past me in the void. Also, Dragon Abyss. There's a bunch of really cool stuff on his channel. It's for like the events in game, it's way more updated than the stuff I have. I've been way too lazy in the void. So go check that out. And same thing, if you guys are on Discord, if you watch the Discord tutorial, you can pull up videos from Chip's channel or mine or other people's on how to beat specific stages for the Abyss, for Void, whatever you need is there. So also in the description of the videos, we have Patreon, so feel free to sign up if you want to further support this channel. There's the merch store, which my mom is my #1 customer. Go mom, you are amazing and you look so swaggered out with all that awesome OGC gear. Also, there is the OGC Community Discord, which is part of Blood Moon House, all consolidated. It is the largest Discord official for Fanbase, besides from the official one. So with that, please like, share, subscribe, and we will talk to you guys soon. Thank you guys.